Alright, so I'm going to give you guys some backstory on this 79 Camaro that I got. Obviously I still have it. I haven't done too much with it. Hopefully at some time this spring I'll get the engine put back together, clean up a couple things on the firewall and the wheel well, throw that thing back in there and, you know, drive it around, take it on road trips, take it to the drag strip, you know, the fun stuff. I bought the car about 3 years ago just north of Detroit. I went out there a couple times. First time I looked at one that had T-tops, factory 4-speed 350, and I liked it. I almost bought it until I looked underneath the car and it was gone. Honestly, I don't know how the rear end didn't fall off when I was taking it for a test drive. So I went out there a second time and found this car, which was supposedly a factory 4-speed 79 true Z28 with a 383 stroker motor. Went out there, drove it, could barely get it into gear when I did the test drive, could barely stop. I wanted to drive it home originally, that was my plan. Complete delusional thought, you know, because that thing wouldn't have made it more than 20 miles. Because once I got it home and I actually took it for a test drive after fixing the braking system, which was basically just non-existent, it basically broke down on me almost every drive that I took. So yeah, I probably would have made it to about 20 minutes from where I bought it and I would have broke down. So yeah, that would have been a fun day. Got it home, basically redid almost everything on the car besides cosmetic stuff, just because I rather have a drivable car than having a headliner. This takes us back to a year ago. A year ago, it was stored over the wintertime, and I did a couple things to it, and I end up taking it for its maiden voyage. And I drove for about 30-40 miles, and basically I guess you could say I blew up the motor. There's a lot of damage that happened that day. I ended up grinding down 2 cam lobes, destroyed 2 lifters, and bent 2 push rods. So I'll show you guys that damage right now. And also in this video, I'll show you how to measure camshaft valve lift. Alright, enough blabbing, let's get something done. So I made this very crude camshaft holder. So as far as the camshaft goes, here's the first lobe. This is the exhaust side on the number 4 cylinder. So that one isn't too bad. I honestly didn't even notice it when I pulled the camshaft out. I'll show you the one I noticed though. And this is the exhaust lobe for the number 8 cylinder. On top of that, this gear where the distributor hooks up to was pretty eaten up too. So just to give you an idea, the left one is a lifter that's in pretty decent shape. The number 4 is in the middle, and number 8 that's missing its top is on the right. I don't have the crankshaft here, but most of the journals are pretty wiped out. And I could have gotten away with resurfacing it and polishing it, but honestly, it's kind of like polishing a turd. For a couple more bucks, I just end up getting a cast iron crank from Scat that I can internally balance. Here's the front main bearing. This one was the worst one, but the other ones didn't look much better. And here's the push rod for the exhaust side on the number 8 cylinder. With all that said and done, let's measure that valve lift. Okay, so there's 2 ways you can do this. Either you can use a dial indicator, or you can use a digital caliper. So the first thing you want to do is attach your dial indicator. Alright, once it's set up and you got it zeroed in, you can start spinning this beast. That's 100 thousandths of an inch, 200, 300, and it stops at 22 thousandths of an inch. So the lobe lift on the intake for cylinder 6 is 322 thousandths of an inch, with about a 10 thousandths variance between some of the lobes, so obviously they're starting to get eaten up. Now as far as calculating the valve lift, what you would do is you would take that number and multiply that by a rocker ratio, mine being 1.6. So the valve lift on this cam is around 515 thousandths. So the other way to do this would be with a digital caliper. You would first measure the base of the circle, which comes out to 1.190. And then you would measure the long side of the lobe, which comes out to 1.509, or 10. Then you would take both of those numbers, 1.509, subtracted by 1.190, and that comes out to be 319. So to calculate valve lift, once again, you would multiply that by your rocker ratio, with mine being 1.6. So that brings me to 510 thousandths. So as far as cam duration, there is a way to do it with a dial indicator and a degree wheel, which I don't have, so we'll just stick to the lift for now. So if you guys want more videos like this, click the subscribe button right there, and there might be some kind of video to watch up here, or even down here.